Hello. The Real, Part 3, March 26th, 2026 on a Thursday. So I'm here pretty much at San Francisco, University of San Francisco, across from St. Ignatius. So three things, actually four possible things can happen to my life. Either I have something planned, I have work, I have a meeting, or I have an off day. And with the off day, I can either choose to get into something or just have a rest day and be lazy. So today I'm not booked for work, but I was offered an invitation to a event to build and spread the love, aka outreach, which is what I do. So here I am, I'm waiting for PJ. We're gonna talk to the community about what I do. And for those of you who've been following my social media, I do a whole bunch of things. From being an entertainer, to being a youth outreach, to being an empowerment person, hello, to dancing, to performing, to work. But what I really love is building connections, uniting people with epic experience, and generals, superstars, and basically like Nick Fury collecting the Avengers. You know, I like to collect and unite, meet epic people and come together and, you know, be a super community. So I'm excited. I've actually was curious about what University of San Francisco is all about. And today I get to get inside, get a sneak peek. So PJ, I'm waiting on you, and I'll keep you posted on what we build. And my quote for 2026 is, let's build. Together we can build. Whatever it is you can imagine, there's only two reasons why you don't achieve what you achieve. One, you're afraid, and two, lack of know-how. So if you're not afraid, you're gonna go figure out whatever it is you need to do and do it. So don't be lazy, and make every moment count, you know, because tomorrow's not guaranteed, health is not guaranteed, freedom is not guaranteed, and as you get older, responsibilities just keep piling. And just because you have access to me now doesn't mean you have access to me moments later or the next day. So enjoy the people around you, because life is really short and you never know. Word. Sitting on a bench with my backpack, chilling at this spot, because there's benches, and it's almost like a central meeting spot there. Stay tuned. Hey look, Mom, I made it to the University of San Francisco. Check it out. Nah, just kidding. Just waiting for PJ. We're about to build epic things here, because he's an epic alumni. Hey, PJ.
Hey, welcome to the University of San Francisco. My name is PJ Bastiany. I'm a graduate student here in the Masters of Public Administration. I'm also an alumni with my undergrad degree, bachelor's in marketing, minored in public service and community engagement. That's exactly why we're here today. I've invited several community leaders to come to campus, and we'll be fellowshipping with the students. So that way these students will be able to have direct community connections and be able to volunteer, spend their time off campus in the USF way, changing the world from here.
All right, well, lead the way, my friend.
All right.
And so I was always curious. I noticed over there the doors are all locked, but I guess this is the open campus right here, huh? So anybody could just walk on.
If y'all aren't busy, we're gonna have some food in Cal 313 and doing a community engagement event.
Oh, today?
Yeah, come too.
Right now at 7. At 7, so you got a little time. I believe pizza, but I am bringing Black community leaders from off campus onto campus, and the NAACP will be here.
And yours truly from So You Think You Can Dance, Netflix, and America's Got Talent will be here to represent.
Yes, and he'll also be talking about how at the African American Art and Culture Complex on Wednesdays, we're doing auditions.
Yeah, so the African American Culture over on the Fillmore, they're doing auditions every Wednesday for Juneteenth. So if you got a talent you want to come through, come through.
Okay.
5:30 p.m. Wednesdays.
Okay.
All right. The word is out. The tour continues. Whoa.
I'm having a hard time being on campus more. It's so easy and natural for me to go ahead and build everything that we're doing on campus. You gotta talk to the students, you gotta get in their face, you know, you gotta be
Well, you're the ambassador. I'm the ambassador for City College. So everything I do is connected to City College.
And what I would love to have is this intercollegiate network of all the students just knowing about all the events that are happening at all the different campuses, so that when we all have capacity, we can all just support each other in this beautiful little triangle. Because you got City College in the other center of the city. We like to say we're the center of the city, and then you got SF State over in the...
Hold that thought right there. So we at the conversation now where the two of us will be intertwining, and so I want to make sure the camera's on me and you. So it's funny, the martial arts world, the dance world, the art world, the education system, the political system, it's all about division, right? And there's always a bunch of old farts who set rules to keep everything separate as a competition. For me, I'm kind of like the third wheel. I come in, I see two awesome things, and like the R-Star team, I'm just creating an R-Star team. Because at the end of the day, the fighting, the bickering, that's cool. Like if you're selling a pay-per-view, if you're selling like an event and it's competition-based, but once the competition's done, all the WWE wrestlers shake hands, right? Like this is not 1970s where I have to kill you to eliminate your martial arts school so that I can monopolize on all your students.
On the whole city.
Yeah, just like the political Democrat, Republican. Like at the end of the day, it's all BS. At the end of the day, it's all people's, right? So it's like there's enough bread, there's enough butter, there's way more space and untapped students for everyone. So to me, the whole mentality, if you ever watch The Warriors, there's a scene where the great leader is like, they're fighting over this piece of turf. He gets shot, Cyrus. Martin Luther King, I have a dream, he gets shot. So, or, you know, people who are always preaching unity get shot or get killed or get taken out. You know, and that is basically the end goal, right? If you are always competing with each other, but at the end of the day, you and me are fellow martial artists, you and me are fellow dancers, you and me are fellow security, you know, the rivalry, you know, to me, it's like very low level. It's just like, cause just like I can be easily charging people a lot of money as a martial artist, but, you know, do I really just want to live my life being just one dimension? Or do I want to live in the realm of abundance, where the possibilities have no limits, where money is not even a value? Because look, I didn't pay no tuition to be on this campus. I went to LA on a bicycle, and my crew member, Eric Smith, was a student of UCLA, so I got to walk in with him, go to class, and mingle amongst the UCLA.
That's what you'll be doing today.
That was in LA, and today in 2026, you know, I just met this guy literally on the street, like what, 3 years ago? It was like
about 2.
About 2 years ago?
Going on 2?
Yeah, and basically I took a chance on this guy. Because I was at, was it First Friday?
Yeah, First Thursday
yeah, downtown, right? And I was there with Mexican Van Damme trying to promote episode 1. And then I run across my homies. And they're like, "Hella Hung, what are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm here to promote my YouTube show, but how's the show going?" And they're sitting there, it's like, it's kind of
breakdancers. His homie breakdancers.
These breakdancers are like, "Oh, it's kind of dead." And I was like, "Really? Give me the mic." So I take the mic, you know, and it wasn't even like 5 minutes of me being on the mic. Suddenly, I had the biggest crowd. I had everybody stop their feet. They're coming in from all over, and we had the biggest circle ever. And suddenly, they were like, "Oh shit, Hung got us a crowd," and they started dancing. And next thing you know, this guy walks over with a mask and a luchador outfit. I was like, "Hey, from El Dynasty to a fellow luchador, step on up, show me what you got." And he jumped in, he did some martial arts.
Well, he said that all in his head because he really gave me the rope and reeled me in, and I was on the outside, and it's only like one person where we locked eyes. So you got reeled in. You got to go with it. You got to go with
But
it.
but he was wearing a luchador outfit and some kind of a Deadpool outfit.
It
Yeah,
was the
luchador
debut
mask.
of PJ the Pool Man. So you were promoting an episode, and I was promoting my first film, and we were both creatives that came together. And
But
all these creatives coming together.
But the element is like the street show. So right now, technically, if I wanted to, I could just talk really loud and say, "Hi, pretty lady. Welcome to the street show. My name is Hung. This is my friend PJ. We have a very important meeting tonight. If you want to come through."
Well, I have to go home, but thanks.
Okay. But
Get home safely.
But just like that, you know. So basically, I was just drawing a crowd, bringing in all the pretty ladies, all the super gentlemen, and trying to create something for my peoples. So yeah, I'm gonna see what University of San Francisco is all about. So I represent City College, somewhat UCLA,
And double darn USF.
and there you go. This guy is a graduate. You got an MA, BA?
It'll be a Master's in Public Administration.
Okay, and then he's running for district. What again?
10, supervisor.
And that's Hunter's Point, right?
Bayview, Hunters Point, Dog Patch, Potrero, Visitation Valley, Double Rock, and Sunnydale.
So a couple years ago, I saw my homegirl Nadia Flamenco's name on the ballot. So when will we see your name on the ballot?
So the ballot nomination period will be in a few months,
Oh.
and so right now I'm actually getting signatures in lieu of filing. The registration fee to file for Board of Supervisors is $500. Real quick, I'd like to introduce Elijah, the president of Young People in Recovery
Member?
and member.
Yep.
Hello.
God is Queen, I don't know yet, but we'll get to know real quick.
And so we're all here
Good.
for the Snoop Club here at
And
USF.
look, you can't have a meeting without
Some
food.
weekly
You
meetings.
gotta feed the students.
You gotta feed the hungry college kids.
Gotta feed the hungry students.
And giant Sprite, brought to you today by Sprite.
So why is it important to have this type of a club at USF?
Yeah, I think the goal is just to create sober spaces in the community, and just some people sometimes want to hang out, have activities, and not have any alcohol or drugs. Also, too, the things like students might be addicted to different things
Enunciate
outside.
a little bit.
Okay, students might be addicted to different things outside of like alcohol and drugs, maybe like perfectionism, certain things like that. So just creating a space for us as students to come sober free and talk about how we're feeling.
Awesome.
So quick question, what is your name and what is the name of the club?
Sure. So my name is Elijah Virachittevin. The name of the club is Young People in Recovery. We're the San Francisco chapter, specifically University of San Francisco chapter.
And what is the meeting day and times and where?
Yeah, so it's open to the public. It's going to be Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. It's going to be at Cowell Hall.
And what is the focus or interest groups that come here?
Yeah. So really, it's open to anyone. But
Undergraduate and graduate.
Yeah, so maybe like transitional age youth. You're from like 18 to like 25. And really up. Young people can encapsulate a lot of different things, but yeah.
But what is the goal or the aim of the group?
Oh, just to create sober spaces. So maybe like for us as college students, how we can be allies to recovery. So how we can create sober spaces here, and then also go out in our community and also like encourage sober
So
spaces.
in short, people who have bad habits, who want to seek an alternative, more positive, uplifting, healthier habit, they can find it here.
Yes, sir.
So it's similar because my story was I was at City College for almost a decade. I'm pretty much the Van Wilder. And basically one day I heard a bunch of girls walking by and she's like, "We hate this college. We can't wait to go on to the 4-year." And so me being a high school spirit mascot and athlete, I decided to create a breakdancing club. And that would forever change my life, put me on TV shows and everything. So that was back in 2003.
Wow.
Then I went to Hollywood for a decade.
Wow.
Then I just met this guy a few years ago. And now a new chapter begins.
New chapter.
I just got with the African American Culture Complex.
Yeah.
Just like
Where?
a year or two
No,
ago.
right down the street.
Okay,
Down
sure.
the street.
Let's
Yeah.
if you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
let's walk to the.
Yeah. So you're invited. Come through. Hey, Vanna White, aka PJ. Well, what is this space right here?
We are at the USF Cowell Hall School of Nursing. We have one of the top School of Nursing programs in the country. And if you're ever interested in getting into the medical profession, definitely give our School of Nursing a check it out.
All right.
And so that was 10 years ago, 11 years ago. So I'm blessed to be able to see that come from fruition from advocacy I did 10 years ago. And now the advocacy I built after I graduated from this campus, immersing myself in the Black community for going on 10 years now, being able to come back as a public administration graduate student and deliver the community to this campus and burst the bubble so that no other students on this campus will have to feel like that same feeling I did when you graduate and you don't have that same connection to the real San Francisco. So here we go. We're back in business. We're getting this going.
Thank you.
And a big shout out to Young People in Recovery for hosting us. Let's go ahead and, you ready? You ready to get this going?
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe, I mean, right?
Did everybody get some food? Everybody would like some food?
This is everybody.
Have some, definitely.
Class of 2026, March. Here we go.
What I'll say, right? So I'll say something before I do, right? Maybe just, I mean, they might know you, but just introduce.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is Piercy PJ Bastiany III. I am a double Don, graduate of this university, class of 2017. I got my bachelor's of marketing. I minored in the first cohort for public service and community engagement minor out of the Leo T. McCarthy Center. And now, as a double Don in the Master's of Public Administration program in the downtown campus, I have the pleasure of being a proud member of the NAACP, of which we have several of our membership here, our membership team, and just a fruition, a living fruition of what this university stands for, changing the world from here. I committed myself to San Francisco when I came here as an 18-year-old, and now as a 31-year-old, I'm running for District 10 Board of Supervisors. Again, building the Young Adult Committee of the NAACP, still a proud member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, of which the University of San Francisco chapter, I chartered here in 2014, and now with my friend Elijah, we are expanding this wonderful club, Young People in Recovery, for undergraduates and graduate students alike to come together and just have a sober space to be able to talk about what we talk about. Thank you.
Hell yeah. So yeah, no, I won't be quite as theatric as PJ, but right. I thank you guys all for coming. So right, like a little different format. Normally you might have like 5 to 6 undergrads here. A couple can make it today, but I think even 2, this is a good space to just. So I'm planning to do today. Do a little intro, get to know you guys while just say our names. Have like a little short 20-minute presentation that just talks about youth mental health, self-awareness. We can just kind of think about that as a group, and then kind of just give the floor to the community leaders. Cool. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a all recovery meeting format, and so this meeting is open to all who've experienced addiction, are affected by addiction, or support the recovery lifestyle. We meet every Thursday at 7 p.m. So YPR chapters engage people in or seeking recovery and their allies across the country to take a stand for recovery. Oh, it's cool. I'll turn it on.
Oh, good.
We'll pause for a moment. If you could just get out your phones and just text this number. All it is basically just attendance. Just saying that you guys attended the meeting.
Hot mama walking around Filma. I'm now the 50-year-old woman that is bridging, connecting all races, religions, peoples together for the common good of all humankind.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
I'm Annika Bolton. I am looking actually to be a student at FIT, which is in New York. I'm going to be a student there as a master's, looking to do global fashion management. So I'm in fashion, and I'm actually from the DMV. I've only been living in SF for 2 years, but yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Psalms, God Hands a Little One. I'm a metacognitive. I run the Pacific Lab Collective LLC. I used to work in healthcare, used to work in pharmacy and surgical tech. And now I'm just chilling.
Cool. Welcome aboard.
I'm Reverend Charles Graves, community activist, longtime resident of San Francisco, Hunters Point, Fillmore, Sunnydale, all over. and I reside in the Western Addition now, and just working in the community, helping out wherever I can. We started a little group for the kids called the Black History Kids, and we taken all the civil rights leaders and we made them out of kids, and we wrote a storybook / coloring book, and then we gotta put the images that's in the color book on garments like tops and bottoms, sweatsuits, t-shirts, whatever we can get it on to market
Fresh.
it, to teach the kids how to actually go into business for themselves and make some bread off our history. God bless you. Thank you for having me.
Cool. And you are?
Marty Herman, from Young People in Recovery. I'm the program manager over the state, and I'm here to visit my chapter that Elijah runs here, doing a great job. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you everyone for attending, and go ahead.
I'm Linda. I'm his friend. I just came to support him and
There you go.
find out what this is about. And I'm retired now, so I feel like I have time to devote and time to support, and that's what I'm doing.
Thank you.
Cool. And then the sister right behind.
I'm Cora,
Hmm?
resident of San Francisco, a member of the NAACP and National Council of Negro Women, Church of Women United, lots of things. I enjoy working in the community with young adults and children, and Sunday school teacher at the El Bethel Missionary Baptist Church. And I'm here to kind of expose others to the NAACP.
Nice. And the gentleman with the coat?
Don't hide.
I got you. You're on kind of camera.
And I do not like getting in the camera or taking pictures. But my name is Dr. Tyree Robinson. I am a double bond as well. I am the class of 2015 and 2018 School of Education. My doctorate is in education. I sit on several committees, the Black Graduate Student Association, the Black Alumni Society. I'm the current sitting president of Phi Delta Kappa, as well as some other committees. And here on campus, let's see, I am a public school teacher. I teach middle school at Bessie Carmichael Middle School, which is a Title I school here in the city. Unfortunately, my principal came to me today and said that they could not, because of budgetary reasons, renew my contract for next year. So, but I'm not worried, because the God I serve is able to do all things.
There you go. Amen.
I'm not worried. God will provide, as He always have. I'm also a part-time academic counselor at City College in San Francisco. I'm a native here, grew up in the Fillmore, grew up in Baby Hunters Point mostly, and just, I just grew up in a family in which we were all taught that we were servants before we became leaders. And my grandfather, who was an apostolic minister, told us, he said, if service is beneath you, then leadership is far beyond you. So him and my grandmother, they always modeled what service really was. Going to visit the sick, going to jails to visit people, giving money to organizations. Not being too proud to associate and affiliate with people who didn't look like us, think like us, are homeless, are drug addicted. All of our populations, they showed so much grace. My grandmother used to always say, the grace you fail to extend to somebody, you will find yourself standing in the need of grace one day. So my good friend and brother Piercy invites me to everything, and I love that.
Yes.
So
yes.
So he is why I am here. We had a recent event. What was that, last month or something? Where we had the doctors came together, to talk about our journey and our program, our journeys.
And that was a co-hosted event with young people in recovery, so
Yeah.
he gets two credits for events. Just wanted to put the record.
So I'm just happy to be here, to be amongst you all, and that's it.
Cool. All right. And the gentleman in the gray, all the way from Nationals. Here we go.
Good evening. My name is Romero O'Neill. Born and raised in the city, from the city, do everything in the city. I'm a nobody. I'm nerve square. I keep my head up high, and I help those who need help.
There you
I'm
go.
involved in a lot of foundations. This is my mother, Lord. This is my wife. They keep me busy. We keep it going.
There you go.
We involved into church and community. We activists, whatever you want to call it. We ain't nobody, but we let it help folks that need to be helped. That's why I'm here today. They need to tell me why I was coming. They drug me along.
We appreciate you.
Thank y'all very much.
And for the sister.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Karen McCoy O'Neill, and it's a pleasure to be with you here today. Thank you to PJ for inviting us. I am one of the membership chairs for the NAACP. So we are here to just share with you this evening and to help PJ in supporting of recruiting anyone who's willing to be a part of the NAACP. Thank you.
Cute. Yes.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Akil, and I think I'm the only undergrad here, but that's okay. So a little bit about me, I'm from the Bay, about an hour away, and I'm just trying to find my community, you know? I will say, after joining Young People in Recovery, which I was referred to by a friend, I definitely do feel a lot more centered in my place on campus, so I'm really, really grateful for the opportunities and can't wait to make more memories. Thank you.
Cool.
Last but not least,
All right, everybody.
great showman.
This right here is a map. This is my seal. This is who I am. I'm 46 years old. I created a breakdancing club at City College. So I didn't graduate from no big university, just City College. I'm an AA. I started a breakdancing club because I wanted to uplift the school spirit because I was an athlete in high school. So my colleagues there one day was like, Hung, you must battle as Hung Dynasty. And my name is Hung, my friends call me hELLA. And I'm like, I don't know anything about breakdancing, but it was kind of like chauvinistic to battle under my name, right? Who's gonna join my cult, you know? And he's like, we'll battle with you. So hence Hung Dynasty was born. And that's the symbol. And then when I went to LA, I met up with a Latino brother who had a school called B-Boy Academy. And I TA'd with him. And I was like, hey, let's call it like Dynasty Academy. And he was like, nah, first rule of hip hop is you can't bite nothing, you gotta create your own. So I was like, well, I'm gonna call myself the School of Freshness. And he looked at me, he's like, oh, you're gonna be fresh all the time? I'm like, why not? I'm as raw as it can be, you know? So hence School of Freshness. And then Elite VIP is kind of funny. So, you know, I'm security, so whenever you hear the word VIP, you think very important person, right? So I don't know if you guys know the song, Let the Music Play, You Won't Get Away. So I'm her dancer. And in the 90s, every club that I would go to, I would end up dancing with every girl in the club. And when I leave, the bartender would say, hey, we don't know who you are, but we like how you hooked up all the nerds with the girls. You're a VIP. And I was like, well, what does that mean? They said, well, from now on, you skip the lines, we give you drinks all night long, you just keep doing what you're doing. So in the 90s, every club I went to, I just lined up once, and then I became a VIP after that. So then after everywhere I went, I was like an elite VIP. So now when being a dancer, a martial artist, being on stage, being on Netflix, entertainment, Hollywood, like as security, I'm kind of like Clark Kent. You don't know who I am. But if I was to spread my wings and show you, you know, I'm the VIP on the stage. So then progressing forward, I'm an ADD kid. Like I get bored really easily. And I'm a refugee. I didn't come from a family of money. So I got into the art of drawing, not because I love arts, but because my mom didn't buy me any toys, so I had to draw my own action figures. And being a kid, my parents didn't really read books, but I was raised on television, so cartoons was my main teacher. So as I grew up, martial arts, dance, cartooning, I noticed everything that I created out of desire, that I searched for, whenever I felt like there was a need or a lack of, my Curious George sense would go figure it out. And what ended up happening is I would start something. They always say, if you create it, they will come. So whatever it is I felt needed to be, even though I didn't know what I was exactly doing, I would just start. And sure enough, like the X-Men, there'd be a bunch of misfits who want to follow in. And I'm kind of like a rebel with a cause, because I'm like, here's mainstream, I don't fit in. Here's textbook, I'm not academic, so where's the middle ground? And in creativity, poetry, you don't have to follow the rules. You can be inspired and you can create. So everything that I created is kind of like, well, I don't necessarily fit into a cookie cutter, but I'm not exactly so fabulous yet. But let me just find that in between. And it's in that space of openness, where there's no rules, there's no limitations. People can slowly grow their wings from a caterpillar. So then what happens is then, if you start getting a group of people together, then this group grows to be famous, to be known. Like I started my breakdancing club with 3 days, with 3 students on the first day. By the time I left, 6 years later, we had 20 people on the regular, and people all over the world came to City College of San Francisco on Feeling, aka Ocean, because they heard of the breakdancing club. So yes, I became a master of movements in the Bay Area. Then I went to Hollywood, LA for another decade, learned the industry. So now I come back 46 as an OG who've pretty much done everything, seen everything. So, when you say the master of movement, I tell people you can point, or you can really point. So everything, every movement is a choice. As an actor, both theater and on screen, also on Netflix and Hollywood. So that's where I came, the master of movement. And then what I do is I work a 9 to 5, and I tell people, you don't have to be a starving artist, you're just a lazy dude. So if you work 3 days part-time, you can cover bills. If you work 4 days, you can eat whatever the hell you want. If you work 5 days, now you can at least have a little rent money. You work anything after that, whether it's $50, $100, that's capital. Now you can take that to support an organization, take your friends out to eat, or just pay a cast. So I'm the guy who works a 9 to 5, and I pool my resources. And thanks to meeting this guy at a street show, he brought me here. And then I meet this super epic king. I'm also a martial arts master. So, and we all do security, me and him. So finally, I realized, since I'm kind of like a independent filmmaker and producer, so now I added the title of production. And then just last year, I realized what I've been doing for the last 30 years of my life has just been trying to figure out ways to entertain my ADD ass, because I get bored. And then everything you do is lifestyle, whether it's food, you're a foodie, whether it's going on vacation, you like to travel, whether going to social events, because you're a party peoples. Life, everything is it's an entertainment lifestyle. And the reason why I say entertainment is that when I first got into breaking, people was mad at me because who's this awkward Asian guy who doesn't know how to dance on beat, who doesn't do proper moves, but I was entertaining. Even on So You Think You Can Dance, they called me a special act. Because what I do right here is from love. And you don't have to be waiting for anything. My message is, if you feel the desire, God is always with you. It don't matter where you believe where you're at, the higher good, the light, whatever you want to call it, God has peoples. And if you are genuine, and I tell people at the end of the day, this is my thesis, okay? Human beings are broken down into a simple category. Low vibration. These are pessimistic people who are always bickering and never happy. No matter what you say, you can't get them out of the negativity zone. Then you got this big old aquarium of people that are just watching because it's the population, the majority, the mainstream. Then you got these people who are good at something, a profession, a career. But you take away that bread and butter, then you got these people who just radiate up here. And no matter where they go, they can come down, but they can come back up. And no matter what, you have those friends who they try to draw you in, but then you have these friends that no matter what happens, no matter how chaotic, he's always calm and cool. He doesn't get sucked in. But see, when you know your worth, when you know who you are, when you got accolades, when you've accomplished everything, you know everything, you become unlimited. See, a butterfly can fly from one nest to another, and find their tribes. And when you are world famous, you become undisputed. When you're undisputed, you're unlimited. And that's why I'm here to preach unlimited. Because I've been from being a shy mama's boy, to being the awkward Asian kid, to being a peer resource counselor and advocate, to being Hollywood, to being master instructor, to flying the coop, Maya Angelou. I know why their cage bird sings, you know. I flew away from my nest of my mom in 2009 on a bicycle with no map, no way of figuring how it's gonna get to LA, but God got me down to LA on my bicycle in one piece. And I spent a decade in LA. When my mom says I'm too stupid or not smart enough to be on my own, God showed me people in every corner of the neighborhood. At one point, I decided I can't pay for storage and rent, so I decided to go homeless. And so one day, on my first day being homeless, I'm just riding my bicycle, and this guy goes, "You have any change?" And I pull in my pocket, I got like 2 quarters. And he's like, wait a minute, are you homeless? And I'm like, as of today, I am. He's like, well, here, you need this more than me. And he pulls out a sock full of change. And then he's like, hey, you going anywhere? I'm like, no. He's like, come with me. So he brings me into the transient homeless community, which is all lined up next to the freeway. And there's this big empty lot and some cars lined up. So it's a whole community. And I'm not gonna give away all the secrets, but if you look, you will find. If you seek, there is always somebody there. And like every old ancient Kung Fu master, we're always watching for potential. So we have 100 people walk through, so many haystacks, but that one needle can be the difference. A psychiatrist I finally saw one day, he said, Hung, why do you feel the need to burn all the haystack when you could just make everybody a needle? I said, well, yeah, I could give everybody my armor, but if I'm on a deadline, I need to get results quick. If 90% is gonna waste my time, I'd rather be direct, blunt, and unapologetic, and get rid of all the unnecessary fluff. And the people who are meant to stay, they're your people. So when I tell people, if you are honest, if you are open, if you are intent, an elder will come through and take your vision further. One thing I noticed with a lot of age groups is everybody has their own limitations. Everybody has their reserve. But trust is the magic word. Trust, unity, and the same cause. I don't know, I'm meeting you guys all for the first time, but if you know my man PJ, there's another saying, if you're his friend, then you're my brother.
All right.
And you're my sister.
I know.
So thank you all.
Incredibly honored to be in the space with all you people. It's genuinely a blessing. In addition, I guess we're in YPR. I'm an intern with the Association of Black Psychologists. So really just figuring out, or really just about, okay, I tell my dad this because I'm biracial. And it's like, right, like the black person is the most disrespected person. Right? And so until the black person is free, no one's free. And so I think we all need to have an underlying sense of community. But yeah, I just said this. I'm very appreciative you guys are all here, and just working to kind of create sober spaces, and just do your part in the community. All right, so we'll get into it. So, it'll be pretty brief, but I just wanted to. I'm actually going to be doing this presentation tomorrow. It's about youth mental health and self-awareness, and so I figured, just to get a chance to kind of have this presentation. And so I want to kind of make it very much dialogue. So like I'll go slide by slide, and if like you guys, with your expertise, have anything you want to say, please say it. We can just kind of go that way. Then after I finish the presentation, I'll give the floor to PJ. Kind of just talk about the things he's doing, things in NAACP, and yeah, we can just connect from there.
Cool. Let's go.
So this slide says, the silent struggle. And so many young people quietly struggle with feelings of inadequacy, overwhelmedness, and feeling of failure. And sometimes it's important to remember that struggles aren't always visible. So even there can be youth who appear to be fine on the outside. Sometimes those youth might be struggling the most internally. And so it says, many young people sometimes ask themselves questions like, am I good enough? Why do I feel so overwhelmed? And so I think this is a cool slide because even some with YPR we've been tabling, passing out flyers on campus. And one thing we articulated is it is about creating sober spaces, but in addition it's about freedom from addiction. And what I would articulate to students is like we're not just addicted to substance use and alcohol. What are we addicted to as students that we need to talk about? And so that's another bit of the philosophy that we've been trying to do with the club too. And so create a space kind of right where that silent struggle can kind of come into the forefront. Anybody have anything they want to say to it?
What age group is you targeting?
Yeah, so for right now, so we're starting the chapter on campus. I'm looking at transitional age youth. So was that probably 18 to 25? So but then long term, but at some point, maybe the connection would be creating some sort of mentorship pipeline between students here and people in the community. But that population will probably be transitional age youth too. It doesn't have to be, but if I had to say. And sometimes, so sometimes I've learned some sometimes it's right after school, right? Like maybe right after we graduate, and that's kind of when sometimes the support system kind of drops, right? During that time period, people don't go to school, people don't kind of figure out. So really creating a space that's not necessarily a school system, but they can be held still.
Some kind of a club or calling or organization to belong to.
I kind of feel like the silent struggle is that one's kind of a real one. Cause I know for myself, I'm a loner, you know what I'm saying? So whenever something comes on, I'm doing it by myself. So there's people like myself out there who will never come out, you know what I'm saying? But I know one when I see one, you know what I'm saying? I know there's a person over there who's not gonna ever talk about anything. Those are the people that are hardest to reach, right? You know what I'm saying? They're underrepresented. I know, because they're out there. So I kind of feel like the silent struggle is like a real problem for certain people.
Right. And so that's what, if you had to think about ways to, I guess, mitigate that or help those voices be heard, what would you say?
Well, honestly, I kind of feel so I don't think school is for everybody. Some of us think and think differently. There's people who are mad geniuses and they don't know how to read. There's people who don't know how to communicate, but they know how to put things together. So I kind of feel the whole idea of one system fits everybody else is outdated. We're living in a time of multipolarity instead of unipolarity. So I kind of feel if there's if you know someone who stays to themselves, you might want to pair that person, especially if they've already matured in the sense that they can take care of themselves and they self-sustain. Because a lot of loners are self-sustaining. Then you can probably use that person in a program for other people who can't be reached, because they communicate differently.
Can I say something about what you were talking about people staying to themselves? But I'm 53 years old. I raised 12 kids. and I had 16 and I seen it change. I'm from here. But what I noticed about the generations now, and the generation gonna be coming in the future, they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to communicate, first of all, with themselves. They ain't honest with themselves. If you could find some way to get them to be honest and open with themselves, like the young man said, truthful, if they could come up being true and real, then we could open up that communication. But as soon as you go ask them, man, what's your name? What is you doing in school? They can't tell you nothing. You know what I mean? They can tell you what they're doing on that line. They can tell you what they're doing, what they're gonna eat. But who I did to support them, when I was coming up, we had a village. Or I had an elder that would put me in line if they see my grades failing. These days, sometimes these teachers talking about, you ain't got to do spelling. You know what I mean? You ain't got to do math. But you could look online in class, you could look on, okay, there ain't no discipline. So how you gonna have them come out to themselves or me to help them if they can't talk well? Only thing I got to get on YouTube or Instagram, whatever it is, you know, and I'm fine. You know, because these kids these days, from the small ones to the 20s and 30s, they feel everything is handed to them, which it is. They feel like they ain't got to do nothing these days. So we have to get up and get out. Just like this support group, you know. And so y'all, I'm happy y'all talking about doing it. You know what I mean? Going out reaching people and talking to people. I think that's very important. That opened up a lot of doors.
Gentleman over there had something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say that I agree with what you say, but also I remember as the silent struggle as well, and even today, a lot of people think I'm extroverted, but I'm actually very introverted, particularly in a place where I don't know anybody or I'm new or something like that. I'll just kind of read the room and just kind of, you know. But one thing that I do notice, having worked with children in different areas, in locked down juvenile hall facilities, I worked teaching for years. You know, I was a Sunday school teacher as well. One thing, and then I was a child as well too, and I remember that during my generation, well, for me and my family, when I was growing up, children would be seen and not heard. So what I went through, particularly one trauma that I had that I still struggle with till this day, is losing my father when I was 6 years old, and my father was only 28 years old.
Wow.
And then me asking for, okay, I need somebody to explain this to me. What happened? And then the communication from the adults shut down. So I didn't know, you know, how to really communicate my needs at that point, because every time I communicated my needs, it was shut up, stay in child's place. So there really was no safety as to where I felt that as a child that I actually could open up and be my true authentic self. I will say I had about 2 people in my life, and those were my grandparents, my dad's parents. I could go to them about anything, but to go to my mom about it, oh no, she was not the one to go to. And I thank God for my grandparents, but
The
you know, they
elders.
were from a completely different generation. So I thank God for the wisdom that they poured into me, for the love that they poured into me. My grandmother took some stuff to the grave. I would have never told nobody else, and I never felt judged by it. I never felt condemned by some of my own personal struggles that I would share with her. And sometimes she wouldn't say nothing at all. Another time she would say, "We go pray, baby. And we go pray. God still loves you," and things of that nature. But I will say this, where children feel that they are not safe and they are not loved, they're not gonna speak. And if they do speak, they're gonna speak a language that they do know. They know technology. They know Fortnite. They know PS5. They know how to Grubhub and DoorDash and stuff, all the stuff they want. They know how to TikTok bang and face bang and Instagram bang with each other. But as far as getting to the real deep, painful issues that are going on within their lives, if they don't have safe people in their lives, they're not gonna talk about that stuff. Well, recently in one of my classes, we were talking about, well, we just posted grades like a week ago, and one of my best students had a 4.0.
Ooh.
And she said she came to school and she was upset. And I said, what's the matter with you this morning? You not usually your happy, cheerful self. She said, I got all A's on my report card, and on my way to school this morning, I pulled it up on my phone, and I said, Mommy, look, I got all A's. And my mom looked and she was like, okay, get out the car and have a good day. So she was looking for affirmation from her mother. She was looking to be praised. She was looking for, and then that kind of steered my lesson that day as to where I couldn't come from open your book to page whatever. I had to have a real life lesson with them. And one thing that I noticed was the young men in the room, they got very uncomfortable because we were taught, men don't show emotion, boys don't cry. We were used to getting socked in our chest if we showed any kind of emotion. Wow, stop all that crying. Or get slapped across the face and say, you better not cry either. And I'm like, well, you just hurt a child. I mean, what do you think they gonna do? Fix your face. You just punched me, and what am I supposed to do? So I remember, that was a teachable moment for them, and it was unconventional because, if the principal was in there, she probably would have been like, don't go there. But I laid out for them the needs that all of us need from birth to the grave.
Emotional support.
One of that is love, acceptance, validation, and physical touch. And there's a study out there from years ago, and I believe it was maybe in Ukraine or Russia somewhere years ago, you Google it, they talked about babies who were born with handicaps or deficiencies, and they were sent to, those were the babies that nobody wanted, so they sent, because they were considered damaged goods, they would send them to like asylums, and nurses would take care of them, but they would meet their basic needs as to where they would wash them, they would feed them with the bottle, and they would, change them, but they never picked them up, they never held them, they never walked with them and cooed them and played with them and soothed them. And what happened to them? They died. Because if you leave a baby sitting there, lying there, number one, they're gonna aspirate once you feed them with that bottle and you never pick them up and burp them. Number two, their organs are not gonna develop because they're not active. They're not gonna learn how to use the activities of their limbs. So they're gonna either stay handicapped for life or they're going to die. And that's what we see happening actually in a literal sense with our young people today, is because they don't know how to exercise emotionally, and they don't feel safe emotionally, that they don't want to open up. And many are silent, because I was that way. I was silent. I would smile. I would put on a good game face. What's wrong with you? Nothing. But people who knew me knew that I'm not a good liar. So when my voice starts to get high, they know, okay, you ain't telling me the truth, what's really up. But very few people know me well enough like that. So what has happened is that we have to provide that environment for young people as to where we are safe people for them in order for them. It's kind of like in this day and age, we have to literally, I have to earn a right to be heard. I have to earn a right for them to actually listen to what I have to say, and then for them to engage me back and forth on some deep issues. And like I said, when we were having that conversation about the needs, the boys got very uncomfortable. They got antsy, they got anxious. The girls, They sat, they were attentive, they were like, yes, we're into this. But somewhere on the spectrum, somewhere we got masculinity mixed up with we separated masculinity, psychology, and being present in your full emotions. And somewhere along the line we said that's not a manly thing to do, is to be in touch with your emotions. So we've learned how to put up walls around us as to where I know how to talk about how many girls I banged, or how many guns I've shot, or how many fights I've gotten into, or even some students I have, they praise the fact that they don't get good grades. Oh yeah, I got an F. I don't care, as long as they still let me do what I want to do. So it's like we as adults and in this generation, it's so easy for us to get caught up in being judgmental and critical and oppressive of young people, that we don't embrace them just as they are and love them. We all have been prodigal sons, and we've all been prodigal daughters somewhere along the line. And our daddies was way literal. It may not our physical daddies, but y'all know the story. You know, daddy was looking in the road saying, okay, one day my baby's coming back, and I'm going to embrace my baby. No matter what he looked like, no matter what he smelled like, no matter what he did, I'm going to embrace him. And when we do that to our children, when we do that to them and be that for them, then they slowly the layers, it's like peeling back the layers of an onion. One by one, the layers start to come off. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be lengthy with that, but
That's great.
It's all good, man. Let it out. Let it out.
Reverend Grace.
Yeah.
So, is that all right? And then connecting with the other one that you had, does anyone understand? Anyone understand me? I think those things, when you look at your overall lifestyle and how you came up, and and people putting labels on you and stigma that sticks with you for a long time, and when you try to find, you find yourself, how am I trying to, I got a little lost, but anyway, I'm thinking, when you say, understanding self, awareness, of yourself, being conscious of who you are and whatnot like that, from what you have in the hand that you were dealt with, it's a tough situation. And I think a lot of young people find themselves in that situation, trying to identify who they really are, and I just, I know, you said you were president here. Did you have a drug addiction or what?
No, so I'm an ally to recovery, but a lot of the males in my family are heavily addicted to alcohol and drugs, as well as mental illness, and so I've seen it firsthand growing up.
Yeah, so I struggle with a disability that I struggle with sharing it, because sometimes it goes different ways. People can take your disability and twist it into something different. So that's why it took me a long time. So I was almost 45 years old to understand what I was dealing with. After I went through a whole drug scene, alcohol, and trying to find myself, because I didn't know what I was actually dealing with, So I'm working on coming out and talking about it more, and I work with this young, marvelous young man that really been following me for the last 2 years, You know what I'm saying? And it's a good thing, you know, to make a connection with a young man that can work with me on some things that I'm working on to find, you know, some kind of common ground between the young people, because that's elders out there that just really scared to mess with the young generation, you know, because of a lot of stuff we see on social media, you know. You think we could sue them for that? No. I'm just but, you know, it's a struggle. It's a struggle to really think that some of the young people really want something in life when you see it, you know, like the school let out KIPP Academy, you know, which is supposed to be, you know, a pretty well-to-do school or whatever. I don't know if it's private or but anyway, you know, the kids dress in uniform and stuff. And they got on Fillmore Street there, and they went into this little staging area where, you know, they do little concerts right across the street from Starbucks, if you know Fillmore, right there at Fillmore and O'Farrell. They went in there and they just started fighting like gladiators. I'm talking about, you know, serious blood and, you know, my wife ran up there and I'm like, come on, no. She was, you know, she was trying to get all in, and, you know, the little girls was looking at her like they, you know, they finna get her and stuff, and I'm like, come on, baby, come on now. You know, we can't get in. But see, you know, I think, you know, we see these things, but now I just want to, you know, stress this part, is we got to focus more on solutions, you know? We have to focus more on solutions and, you know, working and talking with Brother PJ, you know, we came up with a couple of things that we're gonna be working on, you know what I'm saying? So I think bringing some positive solutions and making an economic impact to develop, you know, some what you call wealth or whatever, community wealth, where we can all share in on having
resources,
you know, something going on that we all can, you know, be a part of it and take from it. And that'll bring us together, you know? You remember when you used to say, oh, go cut the neighbor's yard, and, you know, you cut the neighbor's yard and then, you know, you gain a little respect from the, you know, your neighbors, you know? Your neighbors start liking you a little more, you start coming out, so helping out and doing stuff. So we gotta find those kind of solutions to bring a common ground, to bring young people to helping and working out with the elders. You know, like I said, I'm working with a group of elders right now, and, you know, trying to bridge that gap and convince them to, you know, help me out with the kids that I work with. I have like 30 kids that I work with, and it's the Black History kids, you know, and so, you know, we want to be able to show these kids, you know, how to go into business and do things that will, you know, bring some economic value to their lives, you know. So that's where I'm at. Just kind of, you know, finding that common ground with the young people to find ourselves. Because like I said, I was lost until I was 40 something. You know, if I had that 40 years back tacked on to what I got now, you know, I'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. I'm still awesome.
Yeah, I was about to say, you still awesome.
Yeah. No, you know, in the end, I still feel awesome. You know what I'm saying? I know that I could do more, though. I know that I could do more. But we gotta be able to reach the kids. I actually came here to a Black Student Union meeting one night. I was over here by the swimming pool, and we had a meeting, and I went in there and I was talking to the kids about getting some help and some support for the Black History kids. You know, and I left my card and everything. It had to be about maybe almost 50 kids in there. You know, I got one call. You know, one call back from a young lady, and we were talking for a minute, you know. But I just, you know, I said that to say, we have to figure out how we can make this connection, because there's some value in the elders. You know, they have old money, they have old values, but the old ways just don't connect, you know? We got to figure out how we can get across to them so that they can get out of their old ways about, you know, being afraid of not wanting to get involved. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be a task, you know, and I'm hoping PJ, you know, stick with me on this here project, you know, because we're working on a couple things, but the Black History Kids is one of my biggest projects because, you know, as we know, the Republican GOPs, I don't mean to offend nobody if you're Republican or not, but you know, the GOPs and stuff, they really start down in Black history. Now they even really talking about, you know, taking out the museum that they just put up, you know. So, you know, we have to be mindful that we have to keep our history out in the forefront, because if we start losing ground, which we are losing ground, that's why I said I came up with a way of making it fun, Black history, making Black history fun, and being able to, you know, build some financial equity to what I'm doing. So anyway, that, you know, that's just where I'm at, you know, and I want to thank PJ for inviting me as well, you know, and I'm a preacher and I'm gonna be quiet right here because I can go on and on, because I just want to stress the point that we have to work on more solutions, because we can sit here and point fingers and try to figure out the problem all day, and sometimes it'll get you in trouble, big time, you know, really, you know, saying, oh, this group over here, they should be doing that, the young people should be doing this, you know, we can't come at it like that. We have to figure out a way to, you know, open up a discussion. So that's why I'm here.
No, for sure. That's your job, right?
Yeah. But now, so I say, so I guess I'll put the floor now. Personally, man, I'd say you really, you know, our relationship, man, you really been for the cause of just trying to make the world a better place. You know, I hope put the space together, but you put these people together, you put all this together. So I'll let you close with anything you'd like to say.
Yes, thank you. And a big thank you to everybody. Clap for yourselves for coming all this way. Not even on the bottom floor. We all the way had to break the elevator on our way in here. But welcome to the University of San Francisco. This has been my home since I was 18 years old, and I grew up as a man in San Francisco in large part because of USF. So you heard the calls to action. I think this is a perfect time, Ms. Karen, if you'd like to come to the front, or if you want to stand up there. We here at the NAACP, the San Francisco branch, are located in the Fillmore. We do have our meetings every fourth Sunday of every month, and our national office just launched a new membership initiative called the Medgar Evers Initiative, and something that we're going to be looking to do is pooling the resources of our faith-based community, our Black churches in San Francisco, so that any undergraduate or graduate college student of any color, creed, or prudence can be sponsored to join the San Francisco NAACP. Normally it is a $30 yearly fee. However, it's not always easy to clerk it up, even if you don't got it in your pocket. So that's why the national office and the local regional communities are going to come together so that any student can come join this space, right? Just speaking really quickly, when I left USF and I just sojourned into Black community, I was just this like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed young kid from San Jose who just graduated from USF, but I'm not like from here, and just really cared about being in Black space because San Jose doesn't have a historic Black community. There's no historic Black district in San Jose. So for me, like one, just becoming a brother of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and then just learning about the Fillmore, learning about the Bayview, learning about all these esteemed Black community leaders and organizations, supporting the creation of historic Black events like Kwanzaa and Mardi Gras, Black spaces like the African American Art and Culture Complex. That was literally the first thing I did right out of USF, was create a pipeline from USF and SF State students and faculty to visit the AAACC, do a vision tour with the new executive directors at the time. And unfortunately, not everything, goes the way you want it to go. And I just hope that the 8 years that I was doing all the grunt work for all these different organizations, because nobody knows me and I had to build that clout, that nobody at USF ever has to go through any of that, and they can just connect directly with the organizations they're passionate about, attack the issues that they're passionate about, get their friends to tribe together off campus and really immerse themselves in San Francisco in a unique way that's gonna really mean something. Because what I realized too is that even though when I go to a lot of these community rooms, City Hall, and all these politicians and community leaders or whatever, and I'm bumping all these elbows with VIPs or whatever, there's like not enough people who are young like me, who are of color, that really give a shit. Let's just call it a buck. And yeah, I can, know that my millennial and the next one, Gen Z's, like, I understand the feeling of seeing this whole system break in front of our eyes. But that's not to say that we don't care. I think it's just redirecting the energy. And part of why I have been so adamant about fighting to stay in San Francisco, even though I've lost my housing 3-4 times over, is that this place it is possible, yes, when you can connect all the different pieces. I'm the community connector, where I hear of a group needing something or having this resource in this other group or area that needs that same resource, and I find a way to bring it together. And I've been finding different ways to do that on campus and certainly off campus. I don't need to, give out my undergrad resume, but that all that you see me as I am today, I was already that for 4 years at USF, and I carried that into this community, and I'm so happy to have everybody here today, right? So what we're definitely gonna do, before we leave, we got about 15-ish minutes to just mingle. Let's make sure we have everybody's information, right? Where we had folks who are in the art space and in the fashion space, folks who are sharing, coming from community, and Miss Karen, let's definitely make sure we get all of the students' information before we leave.
Like a makeshift sign-in sheet.
Yeah, and maybe I don't say take the time. 8, maybe we could like 8:30 the most. But I say, I was listening to all of you guys say. Okay, right, it's a call to action. You're not wrong, right? We can't just be even. I'm an intern with the Association of Black Psychologists, so we learn about Black psychology, all these things, right? And Dr. Nobles, he's just got to teach us. We talks about we got to really these are call to action, right? So I think. Percy seems like you connect. Like we all need to figure out, right? We can talk for hours about the things that we're doing. We don't have time, right? But that doesn't mean we don't connect. So we need to figure out how we connect, all of us, right? And figure out the things that we're doing. How can we get each other involved, right? Really take that space. Second call to action, and maybe not immediately, but right. Like normally, the vice president, he's an undergrad. We'll have some more undergrads here. We should start a mentorship program for the students, right? So that's another call to action, right? So we need to figure out how we can do that. We have a lot of good minds in here. We need to put that together. Not last thing to say, but to you guys' point, and really just, I guess, just agreeing. This is guy, he's a clinical psychologist. Well, he's an ancestor now, but his name's Dr. Kwanzaa Kunjufu. He wrote a book called The Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. And he talks about, and I just talked on a panel about internalized self-hatred. And what I said was, you have to know thyself. You guys articulated that, right? Like identity is critical. Identity is critical to understanding who you are. But okay, one thing that our Kunjufu talks about is that you cannot teach a child that you don't love. You can't teach a child you don't respect. And so what I was saying is, even if we're trying to teach ourselves to break out of our internalized, everything we see is to not love ourselves, right? It's to take the punch and, you know, don't, like, you know, it's not to respect ourselves. So I think we are really saying, we have different ways of saying it, but we're saying the same thing. We need to find a way that we can come together, we can have people understand our identity, we can show them love and respect. And so, right, we're gonna do that. You know, what I'll say, I'll give Percy the floor. And then the call to action is we need to figure out a way to connect. I definitely also have another one of these again. There's some more undergraduates, and let this just be the start of a fruitful journey for all of us.
Woo! Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen,
University of San Francisco.
to PJ's dream, here we are, everybody. Say hello.
Hello.
There you go.
Thank you for inviting us.
All right, cool. What's up, it's hELLA. I just spoke to this gentleman, Psalms. He just took my map of the universe test. And what I tell people is the map of the universe never lies. So how accurate is it?
Pretty accurate.
So what did you get out of it? Did it tell you anything that you didn't know or anything that intrigued you?
I feel like it was pretty accurate. I kind of did know most of the stuff on here, but I didn't know about this quadrant right here, so that's something I can look at.
The quadrant of building his network. Cool. Alright, well, Psalms is in a hurry. Stay tuned. Alright, brother.
Okay.
Your name again is?
Tyree.
Huh?
Tyree.
So, Mr. Tyree earlier spoke about men kind of like edgy and not comfortable talking about emotional support. Well, the females, they were intrigued, okay? So, this is where tonality, sensitivity, and delivery comes in. So, sometimes somebody needs to hear something, but it's in how you present it. It's your tone, right? So if someone's doing wrong, you don't want to go out, point the finger, and say, hey man, you were horrible for doing this. Instead, you can say, hey man, I noticed you seem a little bit excited, and you may be acting a little bit out of the normal state. What's going on? And the guy might say, well, you know, I was angry. Well, you know, what you don't want to say what triggered you. You just say, hey, would you like to talk about it? Is something bothering you? You all right? And depending on what kind of relationship you have with that person, like, don't get it twisted. People have besties, a best friend. Now, or in a circle, or the boys, the guys, we have guy talk. Girls, they have girl talk, right? So if you're amongst the guys, yeah, we're gonna tell each other what's going on. And of course, there's your clique, your inner circle, there's your bestie, and then there's the rest of the fellas. So depending on how deep your circle goes, you know, most times, I have a bestie I've known for 6th grade, and we tell each other everything. But I do not trust myself with everybody else. Even my inner circle, like the military, there are clearances. Everybody can judge me, can assume everything of me, but do I give them the inner truth, my gems? A Kung Fu master always reserves a few secrets, and everybody has secrets. And depending on how well I know you, how well I trust you, that's how far the relationship goes. So to say that men are not open, you know, can be open, it's because you're not in the right circle. If you have somebody that you believe in, a good circle of people that you actually trust. So whenever I ask people, how do you feel when people tell you what to do and how do you live your life? That's actually an inside joke for me. Because honestly, if your circle is tight, if you would die for the brother that you're working with, if you found your tribe, everybody's family, everybody respects each other. I would trust PJ, I would trust any of my brothers that lead this organization. See, if you're in a circle of people that you trust, then your social question number 2, yeah, if I trust my team, yeah, I'll take leadership. I won't hate it. Now, if I'm at a job where I don't like my boss, I'm at school surrounded by people I don't like, then of course my answer is no. But the thing with the map of the universe is as you get older, you learn what is negative that you don't like and what is it you do like. So what you don't like and what you do prefer. And as you get, like say you go to a job, you're surrounded by 10 people. Out of the 10, 8 of them are horrible and toxic. Well, you were meant to learn a lesson, and there's somebody you were meant to meet. Get in, get out. Do not stay in that toxic circle. Go to the next job. So in the next job, you get 5 people that are cool, 5 people are bad. Well, your circle of friends just got better by 5. You still get the lesson, and then you keep moving. So as you keep moving, ideally, as you get older, you should be in the position of what you want and what you like, and be surrounded by people who you call family. So that's the secret to life. And if you haven't been able to do that, then you're stuck in being in a toxic environment, being in a bad place with nobody you can trust. And this is where the map of the universe will help you. But before you can do all that, you need to know what exactly it is you want. Because you can't be the change you wish to see if you can't address the issues and the problems that are affecting you directly. And that's all I gotta say for now. A lot of questions. I speak when I'm the best when I'm teaching, because the knowledge just comes into me and I'm just the vessel. So when we talk about relationships, right?